Do you guys just compile a shitload of questions, and then according to what kind of crowd you have at cons, you just kind of pick and choose?
Nick has
Nope.
3 or 4 different files.
I have 3 or 4 different files that I switch in and out, so that never no 2 trivia contests are exactly the same. But a lot of questions get asked repeatedly because I like questions that also come with a neat story or it's something that's interesting about them.
Sure.
What crazy drug did Grant Morrison expose Batman to in Batman R.I.P.? Then you get to tell the people the story about weapons-grade crystal meth. And that's fun. I'm enriching people's lives because it's always better to know about weapons-grade crystal meth. Welcome to Netflix and Kill. Oh my goodness. We already got the giggles, but it's a special episode today, guys. Everything is live in the studio, and by studio, I mean our living room.
Woo!
Yeah.
Extra woos.
And who is getting the party started in the living room? Why, it's me, Nick, the Merc with a mic himself. And I got my longtime partner over across from me this time, no longer to my left.
Changing it up.
Freaking me out a little bit. I do not like change.
I'm just going to stare at you the whole episode.
Whatsoever. Travis, say hi.
Hi.
Hello in the mic. That's the god of the pod over there. Of looking down upon the pod in a different perspective, very interesting. And of course, we can't have a Netflix and Kill without a special guest. I mean, we could, but it just wouldn't be as special. It wouldn't be special. That's why we call them special guests. And who are our special guests for this week? Why, it is our favorite gamers, our favorite battery-related gamers, for sure. It's the AA Battery Gamers.
Whoa! You got it right! You got it fucking right this time!
One time.
I have it right on my phone here. It's right here.
You need a reminder.
Double battery, or triple A triple A battery gamers Okay, so
comment, lick, and subscribe.
For those who don't remember from our last Troll Hunters review, would you like to say your names into the mic?
So I am Asheltron.
And I'm Ari Capricat.
Oh, goodness. Ash and Ari, really, really happy to have you guys back.
We're happy to be back.
We, of course, when these girls are here, we know we're talking about fucking Troll Hunters.
Arcadia is a hotbed for supernatural activity. There's a whole other world we know nothing about. Creatures living in shadows. Monsters living amongst us. Whatever they are, someone or something in Arcadia is at the center of this.
Oh my gosh, is this a call? Like a good old troll hunting mission?
Are we really doing this?
I think we are, but I was only half listening and he was talking really fast. I don't really know what we're supposed to be doing.
Our freedom is at hand. It cannot be. Death will be on every doorstep. Arcadia will turn to ash.
We're gonna have to stop it.
We are stronger together!
Yeah, so fight!
If only I had a portable warhammer. Oh wait, I do. Let's rock this joint. Daylight is mine to command. Come on.
Buckle up. The amulet made you a troll hunter. You made yourself a hero.
So season 2 dropped a little while back, and I wanted to wait, because me and Travis watched it a little while back. Mm-hmm. I wanted to wait until you guys got caught up, until we could have you on, because I know how much you guys like this series. Would you like to give a brief rundown of season 2?
So season 2 takes place right after 2 weeks after season 1, where Jim is stuck in the Darklands.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, he goes into spoiler alert. He goes there looking for the real Enrique.
Nice accent on the Enrique.
That's funny because my accents are usually terrible.
They are.
Don't.
We got that one down
I've
at
made
least.
my ancestors weep.
You should see her terrible New York accent.
Yeah, it's
fuck
very
you.
it's important that we get Enrique, but none of the other babies ever.
No.
All the other babies need to be in a purgatory style limbo.
Well, some of them, as we're going to skip ahead a little bit, it does show the fact that some of them, they just stay babies.
Mhm.
Like, that does answer that question this season. Like, yeah, like, Strickler's baby form is still there as a baby.
Look,
Also, what the fuck is Waltolomew?
Waltolomew? Which one?
That's what his real name is. Like, that was the name tag on like Strickler's baby.
His name is Waltolomew Strickler?
Yes!
Ugh, you know what? That baby can stay in the Darklands.
He can
That was-
stay a baby.
That was not working out for him at all.
Well, that's probably
That
why
is-
he shortens his name to Walt.
That is a serial killer name, if I've ever heard one.
Did nobody know what real names were
That
when they wrote that?
That's a like what like no about I thought like what troll is she talking about, Travis? I don't remember a troll with that name. No, a human has that name? Come on.
Maybe Guantanamo, Guantanamo?
I would like you know what? Speaking of Guantanamo, Jim is stuck in the Darklands from last season. You were speaking to that. So that's kind of what this season is about, correct? Trying to get his ass out of there. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like this season. This season is shorter than the first season, and that is only 13 episodes.
Well, it's because this
But
is technically
considering that the
this
first
is
season,
the third season.
the
really.
first season is 2 seasons smashed together, so obviously it doesn't really feel like this season is pacing is off in that way.
Hell no.
When they shorten Voltron seasons, it's starting to feel like Voltron is like no longer following a structure of season length arcs. This one is not like that. It is definitely following the similar arc structure.
Well, this one actually kind of feels like a half season because of how it ends.
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a definitive ending like we did last time with what's his name, Angor Rot. Like
Yeah.
we don't have that definitive of like a final battle. But we still get a big cutoff point of like this is where the paradigm shift is. This is what everything. This is where everything is going to lead or set up for the next season.
This is where shit gets real through the spectrum.
So, guys, without going into too much spoilers, and just like we'll just avoid the finale basically, and maybe a couple plot twists or whatnot. How did we feel about season 2 of Troll Hunters overall?
It destroyed me.
Yeah.
She's actually only here in spirit now.
Yeah.
My ghost is here.
I was destroying it or wanting to destroy it.
What in particular really got you about it then? Like, is it? I know I was impressed by again an increase in an animation budget. Some of the animation looks pretty cool. I'm still like, as much as I've always been like 3D animation, no hardline, fuck that. Troll Hunters.
No kidding.
Troll Hunters has to be the best 3D animation show I probably have seen. I can't. I've been trying to think of one that I liked more than this or that looked better than this, and I really can't think of one.
Well, geez, even just watching Voltron, you can complain about that when it goes 3D.
Well, even in Voltron, they started to use the still images for the fucking space fights. Like so even they're not nuts about their 3D animation.
Not to mention, both series are made by the same studio.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the Korra guys are all like, yeah, let's focus on hand-to-hand fights.
Yeah.
We're a little bit better at that. We'll leave the 3D to the troll hunting dudes. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happened this season. Interesting that we spend so much time in the Darklands.
It's like what, the first 5 episodes?
5 episodes before we get Jim out of there. We have a kind of a, gotcha misdirect where it looks like Jim might make it out, but he instead throws Enrique through the portal and is like, "Oh, here's the baby," and I didn't quite make it through, so we got to figure out a new way for me to get through.
Right.
Meet some interesting people in the new Darklands.
I love it.
We will get to some of those in a minute. Including we get a first good look at Gunmar, voiced by Clancy Brown. Really cool. I love Clancy Brown as a bad guy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Gunmar is very threatening.
Especially when he voiced, like, Yukon in Legend of Korra, and he goes all the way back to Gargoyles when he voiced the Viking Hakon, and also Wolf.
You know the name of the Viking from Gargoyles?
Fuck yeah!
Even I don't remember that dude's name.
Ah!
I remember Wolfpack from the. I remember that. I remember Fox. I remember Hyena and Jackal. I almost remember everybody except for that fucking Viking guy. Who's he?
Well, that's because all he wanted to do was pillage and destroy.
You do realize he only shows up for like 3 episodes. You don't have to commit his name to memory, like at all.
It was pretty much the only show that I could run home to after a tough day at school.
Oh, sure. You don't have to tell me. I understand completely about Gargoyles love.
He wants to make so much love with those gargoyles.
I want to have sex with Keith David as a giant monster creature. I feel like his voice is warm and soothing. I could direct you to my fan fiction, but we'll leave that to another day.
He could totally do like those sexy songs with the
Very white song.
Yeah.
You and I are one now and forever.
Oh boy,
that is some good shit. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, that's right.
Get any further off topic?
Oh,
different rock monsters.
And we have different rock monsters. So we had a cliffhanger at the end of this one, in which Arg, of course, was turned to stone. And we opened this episode where I thought like Arg basically died last season.
Yep.
And when we opened this one, where we see Arg just in the study, and I was kind of like, oh my god, I hope they bring him back, because otherwise they're just keeping the corpse of their friend here and talking to it.
And like after a while, they're probably gonna the people are gonna die. Like referred to as he's just gonna be a coat rack after a while.
That's weird, right? Like
yeah.
I don't like that. I'm not.
He would turn into a catch-all.
Like Travis, if I turn to stone and there's not really a way to turn me back, if you're not putting all the eggs in that basket, could you just like put me in a closet somewhere? I don't be like out and about.
I'd probably I'd just drop you off at your parents' house actually, just put you on the front lawn.
Talking piece.
Like it's like
this is my roommate. He's a coat rack now.
But no. We find Arg again because of course the Troll Hunter spirit people need a new agent to help out Jim, because this vague fucking spirit magic always works in mysterious ways and that sort of bullshit. But yeah, we loaded up a clip here with Arg actually coming back. We'll see this touching moment in real time here. Oh, totes.
The power of love.
Yay!
Great.
It's the power of friendship.
Oh god.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Horrible!
Friendship failed us.
Friendship is chaos.
Friendship hurts.
God, holy shit!
Friendship is many things.
Yes, kill the squishy.
Someone black.
Not the human teddy bear.
Oh, I hate you so much, you stupid sidekick. Oh.
Wingman.
Oh no.
He's back.
And he's back. Oh, what a touching moment.
Quick, someone get the coats off him. I mean,
Arg, super sorry about all that jazz. I made all those funny faces in front of you. I hope he was not, you know what? I hope he was not sentient during any of that.
That would be terrible.
That would be messed up.
I mean, we're assuming it's akin to death, so.
I mean, if that kind of thing can happen to Megatron, it can definitely happen to Arg.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we get Arg back, which is cool because I love Arg. Jim is, of course, absent for a lot of school stuff, so we have Toby and Claire covering for him. So that's kind of neat. You know what I really realized throughout some of the first parts of this episode, that the one part I wasn't digging is that, god damn it, Jim's a fucking moron. He's such an idiot. Like, oh, I didn't want to risk you guys coming along or whatever, so I went off by myself. Like, god damn, no, you dumbass.
Do you have any idea how cliche that is?
That is so, like, and of course we have mom didn't, got
Don't
her
remember.
memory. Mom got her memory erased, and I'm still on the team of like. And then Mom barely gets any time in this season at all. They basically
That
erased her
sucks.
character, and it's like, wow, this was lame. Like, why did we even introduce her to the world of the Troll Hunters if we were just going to erase it?
Yeah, especially since she was a big part in like the first couple seasons.
That's some Saturday morning cartoon bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought
mean-
this show was better than it. So that's one element that off the bat I kind of have to get over.
And I really wanted to see Jim's mom become more involved, even though she had her memory erased, that like maybe she would get flashbacks of little bits and pieces.
Well, and then even she could create excuses for Jim and like kind of cover for him at school.
Oh, she could
and
just
be part
write
of
him
the
out
team.
of school. Like,
But now
Yeah.
we have to go through the whole rigmarole of keeping the secret from her mom like more, and we have to go through the whole klutzy like, oh, gotta keep mom from finding out. And I'm like, I was sick of that halfway through season 1, and I am definitely sick of it now.
yep.
I'm sick of it not only here, but in all the superhero shows ever. Secret identities, like from your close friends and family, I don't want to see it anymore.
We're
like,
fucking done with it.
I'm just done.
It's 2018, guys. Come on.
Do the Tony Stark thing, and I'm Iron Man, basically.
I mean,
maybe
we're,
not- maybe
we're
not
2
on
years
television.
away from the 2020s. Come on, guys.
Look, he doesn't have to get on a blowhorn and announce it to everyone in the town. But tell your fucking mom, dude. Like, tell your mom.
Yeah, if I told
So-
my mom that I was like a troll hunter or something, she'd be thrilled I'd be doing something like, Mom, this guy wants to kill me. Oh, that's nice. At least you're out and about now.
Of course, she might be just as afraid as she was when we were coloring your hair yesterday night.
Yeah, she wouldn't give a shit about me, like, almost dying, but she freaks out when I dye my hair.
So you're saying that we can't do the whole hide my identity thing in 2020? Is that because of hindsight?
Oh!
You fell into that one.
Oh,
Shut up, Blinky. But so yeah, we spend a lot more time in the Darklands. We even get to reconnect with some other characters this season too. One of them being the Darklands. What's the name of vampire kind of looking lady?
Namora.
What's that?
Namora.
Namora.
It's not Gomorrah? No, not Gomorrah.
No, Namora is the lizard looking chick,
Yeah.
halfling, and
Changeling.
that's right. I got my
Halfling's a-
lings mixed up.
Halfling's a different thing entirely.
Or Wildling.
She's definitely got some bling bling going on. But I was interested in her because she kind of turns around too, kind of like we were just talking about him before. Strickler. Just kind of like she also becomes kind of a pseudo enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of thing to kind of an at least a little bit of a reluctant ally by the end of this season. And so that's a pretty cool transition. I kind of like that. She's got some old history with Antler Dude. Now I'm Drawl. God, these fucking names.
That's why you have me here.
Arg and Drawl. So I like and I really like Drawl this season.
I feel like they don't use him enough, though.
He's definitely a background character. Like he's never gonna get. He always has this background thing of proving himself to his father, but that's basically all we seem to really get from him.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like the little bit we get from him and Namora, obviously having a past. So that's kind of neat. It's never really brought into the forefront, but it's nice to see it in the background. Like it could be interesting later.
Yeah, and it seems that Drawl kind of has a crush on Namora.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm wondering what their exact history was. I'm wondering if like they had some sort of past relationship and what that entailed. They definitely are very intimate with one another. They seem to know a lot about one another. So I would not be surprised if that's if that's the way they're going.
Now, I got a question about Jim and his armor when he's in this place. I mean, what is with him with it being all red and black? Like,
oh, that's the different energy from the whatchamacallit, the Darkstoner, because he was getting different gemstone because. He was getting different powers last season for all the different gemstones he was collecting. And then the last one was the Eye
of Gunmar.
Eye of Gunmar, which meant like he flipped around his normal Green Lantern speech of like, by moonlight. Like, it normally goes like by sunlight, daylight is
For
mine.
the glory of Merlin, daylight is mine to command.
Mm-hmm. And then the new one when he's in the Darklands is like by the glory
Doom of Gunmar,
the-
eclipse is mine to command.
Yeah.
I'm such a nerd.
Yes,
No,
you
I'm really
are.
glad we left this too long because I've already forgotten.
we watched it a while ago, actually.
But
Well, I just thought that the fact that the armor was glowing red, that was supposed to kind of signify his kind of like his change in attitude, that he decided to go venture to this place on his own.
It is a little bit of that.
I would like to think that, except he doesn't really act any different.
No, he doesn't.
And I think it's really just a color change for the costume in the Darklands.
Like, according to the characters, it's supposed to like look darker, so he blends more with the Darklands.
Well, I like to think because the Darklands are actually very cold color palette, a lot of darkness, black, blue.
Mm-hmm.
So the red helps him stand out in the frame, where the blue might actually kind of like not stand out as much.
Yeah.
So it might just be a design choice that I think
true.
is going on. But either way, he runs afoul of some crazy creatures. He runs into Namora, gets captured, has to do some arena combat, gets a new helmet thing.
Finally.
Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, what is up with that new helmet?
Well, the helmet, it looks like he's got horns and stuff,
Yeah.
which makes me think like, oh, well, all the other trolls must have had helmets too, and they would need, like, it must form around their horns or whatnot.
Now, being the 90s nerd that I am, that helmet with the horns just reminded me of Cold Stone from Gargoyles, because he's got the same kind of
Thank
setup
you.
with his horns.
Yes, and he's got the cyborg parts, so I was really looking forward to that, and I really like when the helmet comes out. It really gives it's a really cool look to
It finishes off the suit.
Yeah, and it's I like it. And of course, it reminds me of Fate Apocrypha with Mordred's armor, where she puts that helmet on, and I'm like, God, that's a badass look.
That's
That's a bad fucking look where the helmet's totally on, and it's just a lot more intimidating. Makes me miss it whenever he doesn't put it on. So yeah,
It's like, Jim, cover your face. Cover your face.
so spoiler, we managed to get Jim out of there, but not before we meet one of our new villains too, because it's not just Gunmar. Oh no. We have a new man on the ground here, a new threat, and I think we got him right here. Let's go watch his grand introduction. Who is this?
We're dead. I mourn you. Sentimental sap.
Mark Hamill!
Mark fucking Hamill!
Gunmari's troll time salvation. No, this isn't you, brother. This is the cursed blade of Gunmar talking.
He's
This
Luke
is not the
Skywalker
blade's
turned
work.
evil
I choose
again.
to follow Gunmar.
We all know that Mark Hamill himself usually plays good guys. His voice, always evil.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's voice is pure evil.
Gunmar's restoration of Earth is finally upon us. Once you disclose the location of the killer.
It's so funny hearing the way
Don't be
his voice
afraid,
is
Gunmar.
now as compared to how
You
it
could
was
torture me
when
1,000 years
he
of hot
initially
focus,
did
and
Star
I never
Wars.
shall.
Ooh.
Ouch!
I'll never tell you.
Oh, really, brother?
Oh no. I didn't think you'd bring pillows to this fight. I thought I ordered meat sauce.
I'm gonna
not
remember that for my
meat
brother.
sauce.
Yeah, you tell him, Kelsey Grammer.
Yes!
To be tucked in. I would have called mother.
Fuck you and your force wielding ass.
you,
So
Joker.
That would be Dictatious, Blinky's brother.
I love Dictatious. Dictatious is my kind of bad guy. He's sniveling. He's a piece of shit. He
Gets physically handicapped later.
Yeah, he goes blind. Oop, spoilers.
he goes blind, and who gives a shit? Because that guy, he deserves it. Because and he's
And then somehow he becomes some sort of a soothsayer.
sniveling little shit. No, he plays. He's
Yeah,
totally
he's
playing that
making
shit
that.
up.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that we get to see an evil version of Blinky. I'm into it. I'm into this.
Yes.
I'm very into evil Blinky and all the stuff Mark Hamill brings. And of course we have we have plenty of characters with like gruff, badass types voices. We have Drawl, Gunmar, Arg. A bunch of the trolls in the troll market are kind of like that.
Steve. Wait, no, not Steve.
So I like the fact that there's another kind of, more medium-voiced, weaselly troll voice going on.
Kidding.
I'm very much into it. Anytime I hear Mark Hamill, I just get tickled pink.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's great.
All that's left is the honor of actually meeting Mark Hamill.
I believe what a great honor that would be. I don't think many people. That'd be interesting if you're like, I loved you as Dictatious. Dictatious all the way. That's an interesting one. Okay.
And he's gonna be like, who?
I don't remember. Did I do that one time? Okay.
Did you see that Mark Hamill finally got his Hollywood star?
I did. Mm-hmm. And they were like,
about fucking time, I say.
I did like his first words after he said it when they revealed it. It was like, and they spelled it right. like he was like when he was on the ground, like just a random thought and it popped in his head, like, oh shit, what if they spelled it wrong? Like it was like the for last second right before they revealed. Like it would be one of those like nervous things. Oh shit.
That would be something that I would definitely be afraid of if I were in his shoes, because everybody spells my first name with an EY instead of 2 E's. Like it is on my license!
we see, that the, Jim and them do end up getting out of the Darklands. We spend a couple more, some more episodes outside. But unfortunately, Gunmar, kind of sneaks out with them due to unfortunate circumstances, with their prison break. I do like that we get to see some of the other side characters. I mean, Enrique is still a fun character. I like him a lot.
I always got a kick out of him.
But I'll tell you what, some of my favorite episodes were actually Just Add Water and Creep Slayers with a Z.
Oh my god.
So I loved the episode Just Add Water because it's a typical episode of like, it's a home ec project where you get to have a baby, only it's a sack of flour.
Mm-hmm.
And
that must be a poor school, because usually you get like plastic baby dolls.
Yeah, even my school had the baby dolls that would randomly cry, and you had to take a certain key and wind it in their backs. And just to tell the little motherboard in there which key it is that you're turning.
Mommy, why do I cry?
Yeah. Am I alive?
The home ec project's done, guys. I've got to turn your babies off. Tell me, will I dream?
Oh.
Daisy.
But make that creepy. Thank you.
I mean, hearing that from a baby doll is just even creepier.
You'd never dream or sleep the same way again.
But yeah, that episode, it's pretty good, but we noticed that we keep seeing Steve and help me out with Eli. I wanted to say Elliot, but I knew that wasn't right. Eli and Steve are kind of in the background of the episode. And it
kind of freaking out.
And it gets weirder and weirder because they keep cutting them, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. To the point where they finally cut to Steve like throwing water or some like mixed up weird juice on a Jim, and he's got like these he's got this camo on, and it's like, the fuck was that? And we see the next episode in Creep Slayers is the same episode, but from their perspective, in where Eli has been tracking troll activity this entire time, and Steve is like, holy shit. I know exactly which one of these motherfuckers is a changeling. It's Jim, that son of a bitch.
Still not sure if that's incorrect, but...
wait,
we don't really care because we're mad at Jim anyways.
And so he's got his prevailing theory there, but by the end of that, they kind of realize that, Jim is the one helping out. So they kind of
let's not forget to mention that Steve and Eli are partnered together for the baby thing as well.
Yes.
Nick's OTP became canon.
I am into it. I am into Steve I.
Yes.
We might have to have an
Or
intervention.
Eve. Or
No,
Eve.
We're gonna have an intervention pretty soon with all
Eve's
your
a good
chefs
one.
here.
But no, I actually kind of dug that because they were actually, by the end of it, kind of broing out. Like, it was really fun for them to hunt these demons together.
Yeah. Well, they even learned, like, secrets about each other, what made them actually kind of bond a little bit more. Like, the fact that Steve's, like, mom is dating their coach.
That, I really thought
They're humanizing Steve. Panic.
I was like...
some Life is Strange vibes from that.
Yeah.
I thought I could never feel bad for Steve because Steve is a inhuman monster. That I thought never could feel empathy for others. And then when I saw that his mom was dating the gym coach, and I'm like, oh god, no.
Yeah,
it's just...
I can only imagine, like, how unbelievably awkward that is. And I'm talking from the perspective of having a parent be my teacher in high school and grade school, but not a gym coach.
Yeah.
That is a whole new weird vibe altogether.
I like being like an actual parent, just someone that they're dating. That's like
I like how
even when I was in school and I had my dad for a teacher, he was really good about keeping school life and work life separate, and we see that with the gym coach here too.
Kinda, he does kind of mention like the pickles.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and
I think that was just a.
I think he's partially fucking with Steve on that one. And I do like that the coach tries to give him this, like, the talk at some point. And Steve doesn't quite say this, but it's basically like, dude, you're my gym coach. I will never respect you. This relationship that we have going on here, there is nothing. Nothing is gonna, like, it's not even that. It's like, it's not even the fact that you're not my real dad. It's like, no, dude, I didn't respect you before all this. You're our lame gym teacher that doesn't seem to know anything about history, but yet he teaches the history class every day.
And I'll never respect you now.
Yeah, so that's just sad. So it was a good... The show obviously needed, like, oh shit, we need the audience to root for Steve, but we've made Steve almost irredeemably unlikable. We need to like... have an empathetic nuclear bomb throw in there. Like, okay, we gotta have him date the coach. And then, he kind of sympathizes with Eli. They're like developing names together. Like, hey, we'll be the Demon Slayers, but with a Z so that people know we're hardcore. Yeah, so that's really fun. And we even got to see a fun episode with everybody hanging out in detention.
Yes, the Breakfast Club episode.
The Breakfast Club episode.
Oh god, Breakfast Club! Fuck
Don't
yeah!
you forget about me. Don't. You forget about Steve.
Now that we can do.
Oh god,
And this episode is actually called The Reckless Club.
Hey.
I was freaking waiting for Steve to have his smoking moment in that one side room and come out and make his run around this library and scream so loud that he shatters the glass.
It's a real bender here at the Steve household. No, what about you, Coach? What about you?
Yeah.
So... Yeah, as a John Hughes fan, I was like, yeah, I got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
So...
And I also like how the nerdy girl was in there for, what was it?
I don't even remember what she was in there for.
Yeah, what was everybody in for? Like, I know the usual suspects were in for the usual shit.
Yeah. Like talking back or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I even got detention once for talking back.
I'll tell you what, I'm really cool with Claire being the researcher of the group, being like kind of this badass with the staff now, and really pulling her own in the Troll Hunter team. Like, I've enjoyed Claire a lot more since they've incorporated her in the group.
Well, especially how she pulled off getting all the pieces of that bridge through the portals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really comes down to her saving their asses on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
I
actually thought, like, spoilers, but, like, not Enrique almost dies, and I thought he actually was, because it looked like his skin was turning grayer.
Sure. I'm not sure exactly how it works for trolls. Seems like when they die, they turn to stone, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Like, so that's interesting. We even get It's a Wonderful Life episode at a certain point. So that was interesting to see because I liked how I just wish I was never the troll hunter, and I like that he gets transported back in time and he never even thinks it through. Hey, a lot of bad shit's probably gonna happen because I didn't take this right. A lot of shit, and I always hate that. Just it's that he keeps talking to people and treating them like notes, like the previous events have passed. And it's after the first couple times, yeah, dude,
you figured it out.
No one fucking remembers you. And he keeps getting surprised by that. It's he goes up to Strickler, Strickler, listen to me, Strickler has no fucking relationship with you, dude. He doesn't remember who you are.
No.
And it's that point where I'm still not super sold as Jim as a character. He's got main character syndrome a little bit.
Yes.
It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it is unfortunate that we have to watch him make really, really dumb mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That poor unfortunate soul.
And I'll tell you what, I did like the personality split episode, a la that Raven Teen Titans episode, where every emotion gets their own guy.
That's totally what I thought of.
When the first clone came out, it was wow, Bella Angel Alita looks good.
I really liked
all those eye glints.
Oh, such huge eyes. And I'll tell you what, no disrespect to Anton Yelchin, for his final performance I think we'll ever hear.
Yeah.
He's better in this season. He gives probably because Jim has a little bit more to do, and a little bit more to stretch. He's still not that great. He's not that great of a voice actor, and that there's just no two ways about it. And I realized this when we watched Odd Thomas, is that there's too much going on in his facial acting and his physical acting, and not enough with his vocal range.
No.
And in all honesty, I enjoyed Anton Yelchin better in the Star Trek movies, but that's a whole different realm of acting because you're acting with both your voice and your physical movements, whereas if you're just voice acting, you have to demonstrate everything about a character with just your voice.
And it's hard. It's a completely different skill set, and some people have it and some people don't, and by no means does he give an awful performance, but he's nowhere near as compelling as, say, when he's sharing the same screen as with Mark Hamill or even Kelsey Grammer or what's his name, compelling a lot of emotion even though he's limited by ARG's limited vocabulary. Toby fuck, I forget what his name is.
Toby fucking did.
No, was it Welker? No, Frank Welker. I'm sorry, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, Frank Welker.
Yes, that's
the original Megatron.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
So when he's played off those characters who have been doing this for years and have really honed their craft, his performance just man, you are not at the same level, and it's hard to. It's just hard to believe in him. I don't.
Arg is actually Fred Tastacore.
Fred Tastacore. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of someone else for Frank Welker.
Frank Welker plays Fragua.
Fragua. Okay.
I gotta pay closer attention to the cast.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people doing crazy voices.
That's true.
Oh god! If you look up Frank Welker on YouTube and the crazy voices he get asked to do at certain conventions, he has such a wide range. It's unbelievable.
So before we move into any spoilery stuff, is there any other episodes anyone wants to mention, or any other last minute things we want to cover before we go into some of the final stuff of this season and where it's leading up to?
The new goblins eating the cat.
Oh god, that's right.
The gray goblins, our first kill of
I was so enraged because I grew up with cats in the family. I love them and I will squish them all.
Yeah, and there's no interpretation for it. That cat is 100% Deadsville. There is nothing left up interpretation.
Take me to the weasel.
Maybe if you get a toothpick, you might get some of that cat out.
I wanted to kill all those trolls for murdering that one cat.
Goblins.
I do
trolls, goblins. Thank you for the correction.
I do like when Jim finally gets out of the Darkland that Claire and Toby kind of give him shit for a little while of God, you fucking idiot! You went in there without us. What are you doing? What did we talk about literally a day before you went on this mission?
And they totally called him out on that. Yes.
Yes, like, yeah, why did you do that? Which is, don't get me wrong, cool, but again, Jim doesn't come off great in that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be one thing if you really understood why Jim did what he did, but it's hard to understand, like, yeah, your friends told you, like, literally a day before that, we got your back, let's not do this unless we're doing it together. And it's like...
It just follows his same decisions of not telling his mom. It's like, well, you're just making dumb decisions.
Yeah, it's...
And he finally realizes to start thinking before he acts. Like, that is, like, one of the ultimate life lessons.
Well, he does actually... There is consequences for his stupidity, is that Gunmar gets out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and we get to see, what's the main objective of this after they go out of the Darklands? It's basically kind of like the second arc of the show where they're basically trying to, like, hunt down the changelings and, like, hey, is Gunmar out? Did we let Gunmar out? We get to see the changelings' base of operations. That's pretty neat.
The Janus Order.
Yeah, the Janus Order. That's an interesting aspect that they added into this season. And
well, they're also the ones that they got the potion from to revive Arg.
Oh, that was like cool. That moment was hilarious. Was when they're like trading the staff for the
Vendel's staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it was like a Bridge of Spies
like,
moment.
Throw it over here. It's like, are you kidding me? And he keeps throwing that piece of paper.
No, not very espionage.
Oh God.
Yeah. With that,
I did like Vendel in this season too. He's a bit more supportive of Jim and the crew.
Vendel is pretty much on Team Trollhunter from episode 1. He's very much on Team Trollhunter, and it's because he was kind of the authority figure we were pushing back against in the first 2 seasons to some degree. And now he's kind of against that. There's another whole council that they have, including one of the fucking monsters they had to fight. Like, how does
the giant lava monster that ate them?
How does that work? How does he have a seat on the council?
I like he's just like a bunch of floating stones too.
Like what? Like, how does he get there? But anyway.
Go ahead.
Also, Toby's relationship with one of Claire's friends.
Yes,
the mascot.
The mascot chick.
Oh yeah.
Oh God! And, like, when they first show that, he imagines her in the costume.
I want to know what love is.
Yeah, I surmise that even if Toby and her got into a relationship and got married, that he would always imagine her in that mole mascot.
It's like, okay, honey, it's your birthday. What do you want? Put the suit on. Put the suit. Again, we did that on Valentine's. Put the suit on.
Take a shower in it.
Oh, that's right. You're a dirty mole.
Go around the dirt.
And did you guys catch, when Jim and Nomura were dueling, did you catch how much Nomura's body was just glinting and shining throughout that whole battle?
I thought it was just a thing of the light in the Darklands where everything was kind of looking like that.
Yeah.
But it was so much more noticeable than even Jim, and Jim is wearing fucking armor.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, she was a lot more shinier for some reason.
Like she had tanning oil on or something.
It did look like she was about to get involved into some sort of oil wrestling match.
Oh.
And it's like some troll oil wrestling matches. Like, that just sounds gross.
Trollish oil
Get ready
wrestling.
for a serious breakout.
Coming this summer to ESPN 8 The Ocho.
Get the pimple pads ready.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go into final thoughts and ratings, and then we're gonna go into a spoiler section to finish this sucker off. I would like to start with me.
Shocking.
I would very much like to start this off. I think this season was pretty dang good overall, despite the fact that it has a core concept problem in that we seem to not be able to further the plot unless Jim does something that makes me not like him for at least an episode. And I'm kind of like, come on guys, be a little bit smart about your writing. So I feel like Jim was a little bit more interesting in season 2, but the plot and the story that's going on is a little more interesting in this season. So it's kind of a flip-flop a little bit. And, I mean, I liked Angor Rot better than Gunmar. I mean, I think Gunmar is a pretty good villain. Angor Rot was just very interesting, and his design was awesome, and Gunmar is basically just our typical giant Megatron-type bad guy, which is probably why they added in Mark Hamill in there. to
Just to add a little bit more of a personal, space to it.
Yeah, he needs a Starscream.
Yeah, basically.
So, yeah.
Are you stupid or something?
I'm stupid.
I'm very interested to see where the show will go from now, since there's no more audio from Anton Yelkin.
Yeah,
This
true.
is the last time we will hear his voice as Jim. So I'm wondering, I'm interested in who they will get after this.
Yeah.
And how they'll handle that. Apparently, there's going to be 2 spin-off series too.
Yeah.
At least they're in the works right now, and one of them might be dealing with Steve and Elliot, or not Eli,
Yep.
doing something on their own, and like there's supposed to be kind of a Troll Hunters Arcadia universe going on. But as far as this season goes, I'll tell you what, I'm into it. I still really like a lot of what they're doing. There's like some of the stuff, they're just still making some of the same mistakes with Jim. And I really wish they'd cut it the fuck out. Like, we need to loop the mom in. Like, I'm sick of that storyline. You've run that into the ground. Get rid of that. I mean, I'm want to see a little bit more from some of the side characters in terms of their own story arcs. It's so Jim focused for the first half of this season that, like, I mean, Claire's very useful, but she doesn't get to a whole lot to like do like character wise. Like, her mission is to save Jim in the first half, then after that is to help Jim. But there's a part at the end here where it's like, oh shit, her story is going to get a little more complicated. Right. So yeah, overall, I think a solid 4 out of 5 is more than fair. So yeah, 4 blinky, dictatious fucking blind eyes out of 5. I'm still digging this series. I still think it could make a couple improvements in order to really be top tier and really be a cut above some of the other like really good animations. Like, it's not quite to like, you know, Avatar or Korra some of the like really high level animation that we're used to, but it's not super far behind either. So yeah, I had fun. What do you think, Ari?
Yeah, this is a pretty good season. There's like, when I first watched it was like right after we recorded the first season review, and like I just binge watched the whole thing like right after midnight, so I went through a lot of feelings watching it.
It's a little roller coaster ride there.
Just like, oh,
this is good. Well, that's bad. Ooh, it's good.
Just
that's bad.
Yeah. Went through the whole face journeys thing.
Okay, so if you had to give it a number rating, what would you give it?
I'd give it like a 4.6 out of 5.
All right. Pretty good rating.
That's a pretty solid rating there from Ari. Ash, what do you think?
Well, I mean, when I first started watching season 2, I was absolutely merciless. I picked it apart so bad. And that's just something that I'm used to doing as a martial artist and instructor, because I pick apart things that my students do all the time.
Like my enemies.
Yes. But, and, like, there was, I did like the relationships that sparked up again. I did like the fact that we saw our main characters, and especially Steve and Eli, get along for a change, but in secret. Like, we're not gonna be like this.
They're in the
while
closet
in school.
about it.
Yeah, yeah. And finally, learn that lesson. Think before you act. And
see, now who's getting behind the pairing?
Yeah.
It fucking works.
It does.
But
yeah, I was really picking it apart while I was binging it, but I will show mercy. And as you guys know, I rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute best I have ever seen in my 32 years of existence, 1 being the complete opposite of that. I will give it a solid, I'm going to say 7.4.
Okay, well, That does sound very merciful on your end. I'm glad it deserves your mercy. Travis, how merciful are you going to be?
Well, before I add that, I'm actually going to add a little unmercy here, Nick. Here's something for you for a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something you might want. How about a cross-fiction with Steve and Keith?
I don't like Keeve. It's not my favorite.
It'd be Steve.
Steve?
Yep, Steve.
Steve's a little better.
Steve.
No.
No?
No one will steal Keith away from Lance. Okay? You will not ruin Sheath for me.
So no one's going to put on Aquamarine fanfiction from two characters that are voiced by the same person?
Wait, they're voiced by the same person?
They are voiced by the same person.
Yeah.
Wait, Keith is Stephen Yun? Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I've always hated Keith enough to where I just don't care about who voices him. You know what? I'm actually kind of hearing it now. Okay, cool. That's interesting.
But like separating Lance from Keith, that would be like, okay, 90s cartoon alert, separating like the episode of Monster Rancher where Hare was separated from Tiger because everybody thought Tiger was dead. And
you know what? It would be interesting if Keith could only have sexual chemistry with himself.
Oh no, self-cessed.
He's so undesirable. No one else will fuck Keith.
Oh god. Anyway, with that out of the way, I am a little bit curious on how much Anton Yelchin's death did affect this season, but
Yeah.
because they did say that
It didn't seem a lot.
Guillermo del Toro did say that he kept every single line.
Yeah.
So they didn't throw away any of the lines, or obviously couldn't redo them.
Mhm.
They didn't even recast or anything for this season. So I'm wondering how much that affected how other characters' screen time got, because they probably they might have even used stuff that wasn't necessarily going to be used in the first place.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I'm a little curious on that.
Okay.
So that might explain why it's so,
Jim focused.
but
yeah, there was that you reminded me about what another thing I was going to say in my review is that even though, I mean, we're never going to hear Anton's voice again, and I remember from our last review, we thought that it was the whole series was going to end because of Anton's death, but we saw that it gave us a hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Netflix never releases its numbers.
No.
But from what I hear, Trollhunters does very well for them in an age range that they like as well.
okay.
So I doubt very much they're gonna go as long as Guillermo del Toro wants to do it, and as long as they get the ratings off of it.
So 3D animation isn't all that bad.
Well, I'll tell you
not
what,
dead.
it must get enough because they must spend a lot of money on this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and then they only increase the budget only increases. You can tell. So Netflix must be very happy with whatever their viewership is. So because I mean they canceled Sense8 because that bitch was expensive,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing no matter what 3D animation puts them at, doing all those shoots for Sense8 is probably more.
No, Sense8 was might be one of the most expensive shoots I have ever seen of putting two people in across their country and stuff like this. But still, for Netflix, a burgeoning studio of producing
Content, yeah.
Yeah, and one last nitpick that given that fact of they definitely spent more on this season but I keep noticing, like, my ears keep picking up the same sound effects being used over and over again,
especially from Jim's character.
Yeah,
and the troll roars that we hear from Gunmar.
Yeah, Gunmetal.
Yeah, that's my nickname for him.
That's Gunmar's death metal band.
Yep.
Hey, I'm Clancy Brown, and this is Gunmetal. Are you ready to rock?
Considering that there are literally hundreds of thousands of sound effects that are for free out there.
It's true.
Yeah, I keep hearing like Jim saying "boo" whenever he gets hit.
Yeah, there is
He's
definitely some
using
corner
crispy
cutting.
again.
I'll tell you what, I'm just happy that there's people in the background.
It's true.
that
like different models this time.
I'm
Different models.
I'm just happy that they're not in some sort of weird ghost dimension of which just like there's just no one on the streets.
Did you guys catch that when what was the episode where we see the clip where they're in a restaurant and the waitress walks by and she's the exact same model as the dental assistant?
Is she?
Yeah, we just don't see her face.
Oh,
and she just walks right by. I'm like,
it's the same one. I did not catch it.
No, like a lot of different characters with the same model as her.
yes.
Yeah, there's a couple trolls that look very similar. To some of like. I was like, it was Travis. I'm like, hey, is that the changeling? Did they get into the market?
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's just another troll. She's a different color.
What's it going to take for you studio people to realize that not everybody is as dumb as you think?
It's like, no, that's not Nomura at all. That's just another skinny troll. That one's green. Like, what are you talking about? Travis,
You got the gray one with like a shorter haircut. Shorter haircut.
Yeah.
So Travis, did you get a number rating?
No, I didn't get that far.
Yeah, you didn't get that far.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Go ahead.
When did you get in there?
Yeah, overall, I would agree that Angor Rot is like a much more interesting villain. Not that, like you said, not that Gunmar is uninteresting. That Angor Rot really pulls the second season along, or the second half of the season along. I do kind of wish, like, I did like the Steve and Eli episodes, but I kind of did wish that, Toby and Claire got a little bit more. I even really like the what little bit, not Enrique gets too, because he does get quite a few episodes in here, even though he's like, well, I'm out of here because you've obviously got your, actual brother back, so you don't need me around.
That's the nice moment where he's like, you don't need me anymore. It's like, come on, man, stick around. And he's like, aw.
So overall, a little bit of a weaker season, but I'm still fully into it. I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10.
7 non-Enriques out of 10.
Yes.
So with that, we are going to take a small musical break and get to the spoiler section. But before that, I would like to thank the AA Battery Gamers for coming on with us. Would you like to tell the people where they can find you on social media? Where's your channel? Where they can find your stuff?
Well, we are essentially on YouTube at AA Battery Gamers, and we usually post all of our links to all of our social media platforms after each video. So just find us on YouTube, and you can find us in the description below all of our videos, and it'll take you right to us.
Interesting, giving people on the internet multiple steps, counting on their not laziness. Risky move. Hope it works out for you. But yeah, with that, we're going to take a small musical break, and we will be back with the spoiler section right after this.
Creep Slayers! Sinners of the night! Goblins and ghoulies and things that go boom! We'll pound you into goo! We're coming for you, Eli!
Fight forever, we'll stomp on the creepers, we know all the secrets when we are the keepers!
Of awesome, yeah! Punch all the monsters!
Creep Slayers!
In the
Creep
face!
Slayers!
And welcome back to the spoiler section for Troll Hunters Season 2.
Spoiler, the hunters are trolled?
Trolling down the river. I don't know, what do we think about the finale of the season? I kind of dug it. So Gunmar, we should start with Bendu, taken out this season. I'm sorry, Vendu. What was his name?
Vendel.
Vendel. Vendel?
Yes.
Wow, I went all the way around for that and not worth it.
I think I remember this morning you talking about Bendu. I'm like, am I forgetting character in
You went
Bendu?
down the whole
Fuck,
alphabet.
that's a guy in Star Wars Rebels. I am so sorry. I'm thinking about the gray Force user in fucking Star Wars Rebels for whatever reason.
I just kind of nod my head. I'm like, yep, that character.
So,
Totally a character.
Vendel gets taken out by that bitch.
Yeah.
What's her name? What's that
I
council
don't know
chick?
her name, but she's like the leader of like the kind of trolls.
Deep trolls.
Yeah.
The deep earth trolls. Like she's fucking Navi.
Yeah, and we knew, we called her early, it's like, oh, she's totally working with Gunmar.
Yeah.
That fucking bitch.
I didn't really guess that when I first saw her or anything. Like you saw last night how my jaw just hung when she took out Vendel.
And you're like before that, like, oh, I like her. It's like,
Yeah, I like her.
Wait for that moment.
Yeah.
Motherfucker! motherfucker!
Well, she keeps impeding the troll hunter group, and it's kind of at a certain point, it's like, okay, she's either unbelievably bad at her job or she's in on it. Like and it's starting to like look like no one's this fucking incompetent,
Right?
Like she's definitely in on the whole thing. So yeah, Vendel gets fucking stabbed in, well, not the back. I mean, she does get the chance to turn around to get stabbed in the front, but not much more chance than that.
Hey, who voices Vendel, anyways?
That's a good question. Travis, could you look out that out for me?
Yeah, I can.
Well, he dies, and then you're like, oh, that's okay. He just got turned to stone, and he got turned to stone with that Angor Rot thing, and we already know the secret for that. And then she pushes his ass over. What an asshole!
Oh no!
And he goes down with this look on his face, like, how could you?
Well, actually, no, it's not even that she didn't realize it, because he was just figuring out that, oh shit, she's a traitor when she comes up and kills him.
He was just getting like, oh no.
And his voice actor is Victor Rader Wexler.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wexler.
Oh,
It's a hyphenated last name.
He's Wesker's twice removed brother. I felt bad for that. I was like, no, I was just starting to like Vendel. Vendel's cool. So yeah, Jim gets blamed for that some crazy how. Like, and it's like, no, it's definitely our troll hunter, and we should definitely kill his ass and destroy him. And it's like, wait a minute, don't we need a troll hunter? Isn't the troll hunter like super important? Like, aren't we? I just wanted someone from the background to go like, don't we need him? Maybe we punish him, but it's important we have that guy.
Just like that cable commercial. Like, don't we need that cable box to watch TV?
Well, I'm surprised too. No one like call her on that. Like, isn't some of this your fault? Like, you're impeding this whole investigation quite hard.
Yeah.
No, she wants to make troll market great again.
Didn't she want? Didn't she? We're gonna keep the humans out. We're gonna build a wall, a magical wall.
I mean, they have a magical
The humans
wall.
have only sent us their worst. Jim's a rapist. Toby's a murderer.
But some of them are nice people.
But some, I assume, like Claire, are nice people.
On many sides.
There was violence on both Gunmar and anti-Gunmar sides. We're gonna go all the way with this metaphor.
And you know that jokes are gonna be made about this period in time politically for the next 100 years.
Well, we had to finish up because we had to go on a kafafi break.
I haven't thought about Kafifi in a while.
Right?
That's an old one.
I know.
That's an old one.
Old. It's like been like a year, not even a year.
Oh boy.
That's
That's 1,000 years ago in Trump years.
in meme years, yes.
That's 1,000. That's ancient history, Travis.
In meme years, it really is.
You have to be very careful with that meme. It's an antique. What were we even talking about? That's right. Vendel's,
we got off track.
Vendel's ultimate demise. And then didn't she want to say like destroy so that there wouldn't be a troll hunter after that too? Wasn't that one of her?
She wanted to destroy the amulet.
Yeah, and that was like, come on, guys, she's totally working with Gunmar. There's no reason to destroy that amulet other than if she's working with Gunmar. And like some half-assed reason that she's kind of like, I wanted to turn to everybody like, guys, we're smarter than this, right?
Hey!
Like this. I mean, kill Jim, sure, but then we use the amulet with somebody else, right? Like this.
Why wouldn't she find like a puppet troll? Be like, yes, this troll is definitely appropriate for troll hunter, and it's someone under her control.
God.
Like anything, but just like destroy it, it'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
And really, I only liked her because of her bioluminescence. I think it looks cool, but that's pretty much it.
But anyway, Jim gets out of that one, so no worries there.
He just kind of gets out.
And he fights like himself as a troll.
Well, he gets thrown into that pit where it's like it gets real Star Wars in there of just face your greatest fear.
And Mark Hamill shows up. Wait,
and Mark Hamill like, hey, come on, steal from the best.
Waiting for the head of the helmet being cut off of the red guy, and
so what I like is the final breakout escape here. And of course we figure out that during the Breakfast Club episode is actually where we find out that Drawl has been fucking possessed by Gunmar. Because it turns out that, we didn't even talk about that, Gunmar's fucking like sword thingy can enslave people and make them puppets, and like that shit's not good.
I thought that was more of a zombie army than anything.
Yeah, and like it seems like you control some parts, like you can be autonomous, sort of. But Gunmar has some serious control over you.
He made one of his soldiers practically commit suicide.
Yeah, it was interesting to say the least. So big prison break, basically. We have to get this big prison break underway. We have we have Toby and Claire help out with that. Claire gets a time to shine here, where at the very end here I think we got the clip. We got the clip here where Claire gets the final thing with her Angerot staff.
Wait, Claire, what are you doing?
Saving us all.
Make a portal that
Oh yeah, this was a fucking
If we
epic
do
part.
nothing, we're all dead.
And they
You
play
would do
Children
the
of the
same.
Sun over it.
You did
Yes.
do the same.
I wasn't thinking. There's gotta be another way.
guys, wall breaking.
Don't do this, kid.
You saved my brother. Let me save you.
I mean, to be fair, they're kind of fucked at this point.
Yeah, they are. Oh, ouch.
And we get to see Claire's quickening.
Yeah, no kidding.
And of course she's claiming the prize now, because obviously she's a Highlander of some type.
See, the thing is that they actually use so much product on the hair, only a force of this magnitude can actually move it. I see. Oh,
I see everything. I feel everything.
Everything that was, everything that is, and everything that ever will be.
You're not doing this alone.
Now, crying out loud, this is a frickin' Tron moment here.
Everyone had their teen angst in here.
Yes.
We're stronger
But really, like, film is brought to life literally by music.
It's true.
It's like the Infinity Stone. Guardians of the Galaxy.
For sure. Peter, take my hand.
Blinky, take my hand.
Oh, too late, guys, because Claire's a badass. I was very into that moment. I'm like, yeah, you get him, Claire. Fucking, I even dug it, and I'm normally a very stickler for the friendship is the most powerful substance in the world bullshit.
yeah.
But even then, at that moment, I was kind of like, yeah, fuck it.
It's a good scene.
We'll go with the Guardians of the Galaxy, like, control of, like, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy, bitch.
We're the troll hunters, bitch.
Come on, go, come on. Fucking Gunmar. Dance battle, bro.
Yeah.
Dance battle.
Gunmetal, Gunmar.
Distraction, turd boss.
Trying to tag you, Turd Blast. And, yeah, so that is great. I love that. Unfortunately,
Not a clean break.
not clean, because too much of that power seems like that bitch queen thingy that cursed Angerot in the first place now has some sort of link with Claire.
Mhm.
We get that at the very end of this too.
Mind control is way too common of a thing in this universe.
And that looks shitty because Claire is we already seen how resourceful and smart Claire can be, and now we saw the shit Angor can do. It's gonna be dangerous because now we have outright slaves with Gunmar, and now we have sleeper agents with whoever the fuck. Like, can anyone remember her name?
I think they called her the Pale Lady.
The Pale Lady. Now we have sleeper agents on the other side, and there's no way of telling what she's gonna come down on.
It's got friends on the other side.
Man, you gotta bring it back to Keith David. I love it. But yeah, so not a huge climactic like final battle ending. This is more of an escape.
It's a grand escape.
For sure.
Yeah, but a great escape to be sure. We leave off where the the changelings, the half trolls, are looking like they might, form an alliance to fight off Gunmar as well.
Let's also forget that they made the trolls escape in daylight by using like Mary Poppins umbrellas.
Yep,
Yeah,
we get
holy
the
shit, yeah.
Steve and Eli helped them out.
Yeah.
Yep,
They're finally evolved.
the demon slayers with the Z.
Creep Slayers.
What's that?
Creep Slayers.
The Creep Slayers with a Z. Sorry, the Creep Slayers with a Z are come in with the Mary Poppins umbrellas to save the trolls from direct sunlight. So that was helpful of them. They get their big moment to shine. A lot of big moments from this last episode for some of the side characters.
How did you like the Creep Slayer song over the beginning sequence of one of the episodes here?
Yeah, when they had the I think it was at the end of like the credit scenes of one of the episodes, and they basically do the opening, but it's sung by Steven and Eli with their demon with their their death metal like band, like their Creep Slayers theme song, and I got a kick out of it.
I did. I got a royal kick out of that one.
We might have to make that the musical intro for the spoiler section. Who knows?
Yes.
Well, we'll throw that in there.
Or it'll be thrown on.
Magic
of editing.
On the top.
So yeah, is there anything else we want to cover in the spoiler section? That was pretty much.
Oh yeah, and we finally hear Merlin.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
How can we forget that?
I completely forgot about that. So, very interesting. Like, I thought Merlin was just kind of like a name that they were going to drop and never really reference it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually finally hear like, oh, okay. I'm wondering, did they mention if any other of the troll hunters could ever hear Merlin, or is Jim the first one?
It was just Jim.
Just Jim. Okay. So that's interesting.
So he heard the voice of Walder Frey.
Walder Frey. Hopefully it works out for anyone else that tries to follow that guy.
Apparently that's what he became after Arya slit his throat.
That's an improvement.
I learned the errors of my ways. Decided to help out the trolls here.
And somehow I'm Merlin, or the spirit of Merlin.
Yeah. I always think like maybe maybe it's more of a spirit of Filch, just like this.
Also true.
So yeah, anything else we want to cover? No, we covered all of it. Not any. We already covered like not too many big deaths or anything super crazy.
I'm pretty sure that once we're all finished up with this here, I'm gonna think of something else later.
Sure. That's how it always goes. But yeah, with that, I think we've successfully, done our slaying for the day. So I think we can call it a wrap, guys. Again, thank you so much to the AA Battery Gamers for coming to do this review with us.
Thank you for getting our name right.
3 times now.
I am very proud of it myself.
He can actually learn.
You're a good boy.
I'm thinking.
You're such a good boy.
Yes. Now scratch me behind the ear. And now tell me that I'm bad.
No.
We will.
Well, I might give you a milk bone.
Wow, that came off way more sexually aggressive than I think you thought it did, Ash. That I'm gonna have
Only
to talk.
Only if you take it that way.
I am talking to HR.
He'll take it any way he wants.
Right after this, because
Nick,
Ash, this is sexual harassment, and I don't have to take it.
Nick, you are HR.
I am HR.
You're HR.
Wow, HR is not happy with me. I'll tell you what. We are going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Check out some of our previous Netflix and kills, some of our other regular content on the UGO podcast and iTunes. And, just hang out with us. Ask a question. Suggest a movie or a series we can watch on Netflix, or suggest another guest that we can have on if you can find someone as awesome as the AA Battery Gamers. But I doubt you can, because come on. We're really raising the bar. With that, we are Unapologetic Geek Out, and... We're out.
What is this music?
I can't rap over this. It has no beat.
Sounds super serious.
Hey, look, it's Toby.
Wait,
hi, Toby.
The dentist gets a picture? Who's that? Are they even in the show?
We're probably next. Now. Oh, come on.
Of course Claire gets one.
I guess that's how it's gonna be, Steve.
What?
Creep slaying's a thankless job.
What a total ripoff.